and welcome to this new podcast series about what makes a thriving school. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today's guest, my friend today, is Dave Judge, and I'll be introducing Dave in a moment. But first, let me just tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. So, in each short episode, I'm going to be meeting up with friends that I've made over the last 25 or so years of working in education, and asking them a little bit about their life and their work. But in particular, I'm going to be asking everyone I meet what they think makes a thriving school. And the idea is that over the course of the podcast series, we'll build up what amounts to a library of inspiring stories and real life examples of thriving school communities. Now, I'm going to be meeting with heads and principals, bursars, advisors like Dave, marketing directors, a whole range of people, because the work that we do at RS Academics, where I am the founder and chairman, that work puts us in touch with all those different people through the various services that we provide. So I'm delighted that today I'm going to be talking to Dave Judge. Dave, you are the Executive Creative Director of Space Zero. And I sometimes get this wrong, but I know you're not interior designers and I know you're not architects. So why don't you just remind me and tell everyone what you are? What does Space Zero do?
So at its most simple, we're specialists in the design of schools. What goes on and how the design of environment supports what goes on. And that's schools are complex. And teachers know what they need, but what we try to do is make it not just function really well, but also be a great experience. That in its entirety, that's what we try to focus on.
Okay. And you've just, I know you work all around the world as well as in the UK, but I know that you just come back from Brussels, because I tried to get hold of you last week and I couldn't because you were busy working out there. So maybe you could just tell us a bit about what you were doing there, because that might give us a bit of an insight into the day job, as it were.
Yeah, so absolutely fantastic school, lovely people, wonderful atmosphere in the school, and so we've been working with them over the last 6 months, looking at how we can create a strategy that starts with them as an organism. What are their values? What are they about? What are they trying to capture? What contribution can the design of their campus give towards bringing them to life more? Because actually that schools tend to, they think of the teaching and the pastoral care, but actually there is a missing component part, I think, that is actually the spaces in which that amazing teaching takes place. So we've been helping School of Brussels, first of all, develop that strategy so they can clearly see that actually before we start designing anything, what is it that is them, and how does that get applied and brought to life within a space? So they can be completely unique. We're working with on their strategy before we start designing all the campus. That's what we're doing at the moment, and it's great.
So there's to do what you do, you've got to understand the brand, haven't you? And because that's your background, is that right? Is that fair to say, or not?
Yes. I spent 25 years working around the world with brands like Adidas, Ford, Porsche, Virgin, Etisalat, all sorts of people, designing experiences. And I use the word experience, and some people go, "Oh, what's experience mean?" And actually, it kind of, the word experience actually means everything, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And it is kind of everything. So when you walk into a store for someone like Adidas, you're hit with an awful lot of information. It hits your ears, your eyes, everything. And it's orchestrating that to create something that the person who's walked in can connect with. You know what I mean? So I've spent my life trying to help Adidas not be like Nike, or Virgin not be like whoever, you know what I mean? Not be like O2. So making the store relevant but different from its competition, so that a target audience will choose to go there, really enjoy being there, and get to understand that brand a bit better. And it's not about brand as a corporate thing. It's about brand as an experience. So brand is a doing word. It's a verb to me. It's not. That's the heart of it, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, we've had good conversations about brand before, because that's my background as well, of course, if go back far enough. So let me ask you the question that I'm going to be asking all my friends that I'm talking to, uh, which is about what makes a thriving school. So if you had to put your finger, I mean, I'm sure there are many things you'd want to highlight, but what would you say more than anything else makes a school a thriving place or a thriving community?
Um, I think there is. It's difficult to say what makes it. I think what can contribute more to
Yeah,
it
can contribute. Yeah.
is thinking about the idea of belonging. What does belonging really mean? That because the psychological kind of benefit of being in a place that you like and you
Mm.
enjoy being makes you want to stay, want to go back, want to be there. Kids have their bedrooms, you know what I mean? Their bedrooms is their little fiefdom, you know what I mean? It's got their pictures of the band on the wall, they painted the wall black, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they feel they belong and they feel protected and happy in there. That's where they
Yeah.
run to when they've had an argument and shut the door because they belong. And
Yeah.
that there is a way that we can work with. I've been working with clients for years around the idea that creating spaces that allows the target audience, whoever that is, it's a different audience if you're working with Body Shop. So if you're working with, I don't know, Wagamama,
Yeah.
so to create a space that people go into and feel that they belong. And I think that schools have been designed a little bit too institutionally for too long, a little bit like
Yeah.
hospitals. They're a functional thing. Whereas I think we can make them much more an emotional, enjoyable experience. Well, actually not thinking, but that's what we're doing and
Mm.
improving it. To me. So I'm actually delivering it. I'm concentrating on that now, working with schools all around the world. And we are working with independent schools because we specialize in helping a school when it expands internationally to land with a great experience because that's important for them commercially. But we also hope the trickle down effect of that allows state schools, etc., to go, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, look at that. So there can be a trickle down effect. And that's what we're kind of trying to concentrate on.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of talk. I mean, I should explain that we're talking today at the end of September, and this podcast is going to go out in probably a couple of weeks' time, in October. But in the news today, there is a lot of conversation about the high number of children that are choosing not to go into school because of mental health concerns. And I'm just wondering if your work and the kind of your thinking, the kind of things you're saying, is that relevant to that? I mean, do you think you can help children feel better at school and happier at school, or is that maybe overstretching it?
No, I think there is a significant contribution that can be made. I mean, so I've often in the past used the analogy of the dentist's waiting room. It's got
Mm.
15 chairs or 5 chairs, and it's got a receptionist desk, and it's got some lights on, and the walls are usually white, and there's a wooden floor. So it functions as a waiting room, but no one
Yeah,
enjoys being there. You don't enjoy being in it. But if you think about going to your favorite restaurant, you enjoy
yeah,
being. You know what I mean? So actually, I think that schools just need to consider the connection between mental health, well-being, and a sense of belonging, and that the job that the design of space can do without the presence of any other adults. It's not
mm,
about it's not all about just what the teachers do. They are amazing in what they do and the institutions, but actually a place in its own right can help a child feel happy there because they feel it's been designed for them to enjoy it.
yeah,
Not be fun, not. No, it's not like this is no. It's not like sick or cool or anything, but it just feels like they've been taken into consideration when the
yeah.
place has been created, rather than just a
Why
load of.
why do you think why do you think that doesn't happen very much? And traditionally hasn't really happened at all.
Hmm. I, th-
Right?
I think mainly because it's not seen to be valuable. It's not, schools are complex, around 260 unique different types of spaces in an average school. There's a lot of functionality that needs to be dealt with. So it's,
Okay.
it is complex. And then to start considering how we make, the library for primary something that they just love and it celebrates the book and they love it, not just a
Yeah.
storage space with chairs for books, all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's difficult, it's complex. Obviously it comes down to money, but
Mm.
actually good design when you're building or refurbishing doesn't make the capex larger, but can increase the experience exponentially.
Mm. Were you? I hope you don't mind me asking, were you happy at school? Did you enjoy school? Was it a place that you liked to be in?
Yeah, I enjoyed school actually. I have very fond memories of it.
Yeah.
I'm still in contact with a lot of my mates from school. It was the social side of school that I loved. Actually, I was rubbish in academically. I got an A in art and an A in engineering drawing. Pretty much failed everything else. You can see as a character where I was what my DNA did.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed school. It was good. Yeah, no, I very much enjoyed it.
Okay. And then maybe just to finish with, we've just got maybe a couple of minutes left. There will be relatively few people who are building new schools. I mean, internationally, you and I know that there are a lot of new builds happening in certain parts of the world, but most people, if they get the opportunity, it's more about refurbishing and repurposing what they've got or extending what they've got. Can I put you on the spot and maybe just some little pointers you might give people to think about? Even if they're not working with you, what are the kind of tips or sort of you might give them if they're like refurbishing or redesigning the inside of a building?
Yeah, it's a good question. That I think I would say fundamentally, firstly, really consider yourself whether the idea of authority and functionality and conservative sobriety is the place to start with designing a space that a child is going to be in for 8 hours every day, and whether they're going to love that experience or not. It's difficult school already, but actually maybe with a mindset that goes, why can't we just make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more positive? Just that mindset. Look at the spaces where kids like to go. What is it? What's
Which
going
sort
on?
of places? What sort of spaces would you
Go to a
encourage?
mall. Go to a mall. Go to a mall on a Saturday
Shopping
afternoon.
mall.
Go to a
Okay.
mall on a Saturday afternoon and walk around the shops that you wouldn't go to because you're a boring old crusty 50-year-old white guy, whatever, and go into the shops that the kids are in and look at those shops and go, yeah. There's a massive schism between the two, and I think that needs to be really considered.
Yeah. So it's about seeing things through the eyes of the child, really, in
Yes.
many ways. Yeah.
That's how you can create a greater sense of belonging, and I do think that will make children enjoy school, enjoy being in school more. The education is the other part of it, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Well, that's for another day. But look, Dave, I think we discovered just an hour or so ago that we're both in London. I don't think I realised you were in London, but we're going to meet up for a drink later so we can continue the conversation then. But for now, thank you so much. You know that I always love talking to you and listening to you and learning from you, and I hope that the people that have been watching this podcast have had the same experience. I'm sure they have. But thank you very much indeed for talking to me today.
Pleasure. Nice to see you again, Russell. Take care.
Bye.